Hey there, this is Red. It's time for another Red Reveals. So, Star-Lord and Gamora both came out at at the exact same time. They were released at the same time. Star-Lord actually is incremented one earlier than Gamora, so I think in the release cycle he's one earlier, but they both arrived on the same day. I have another video where we went through Star-Lord. Our Star-Lord is empty, which leaves us with Gamora is the deck we're opening here. So let's get into this one. Let's take a look and see what is in our Gamora Hero Pack. Now, Star-Lord was kind of interesting. I'll put a little link to his video either in like the description, or maybe I'll drop a little box up in the corner if I can. Did like Star-Lord. He's looking pretty powerful on the leadership side of stuff, and he's going to be like, I think there's a lot of cards in there for aerial and doing Guardian specific stuff. So going to be pretty cool, I think. I don't know about his ability. That's the jury's out on that one. All right, so in our Gamora, we got our little poster there. Looks like she's kicking some butt. And that's pretty natural. She's standing on her toe. That's kind of like a weird pose. Maybe she's diving to the side there. All right. What do we have for rules on the back here? We've got the Gamora Hero Pack. We have a frequently asked question. Let's see here. So, we got stuff at the beginning there. Let's see here. So, frequently asked question. Do the 6 attack and or thwart events that Gamora may include in her deck count toward her minimum and maximum deck size? And that's a yes. Well, Gamora may include events in her deck outside of her chosen aspect. These events are still counted as part of both her minimum and maximum deck size. Interesting. Okay. So we've got Gamora's going to be aggression, it looks like. Gamora aggression plus, I guess, because you can use stuff outside is what it looks like. All right. So, and that's a really weird way to put that. It says do the 6 attack and or thwart events. So I'm guessing that's 6 total, not 6 of each. All right. Well, let's take the plastic off of this and see what we got here. All right. I'm gonna get my handy dandy knife out. Try not to ruin my cards with my knife. And we'll plop them out here and let's go through them. All right. We got Gamora. So let's see what we got right off the bat here. We have she's 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense, 2s across the board. We've got a hand size of 5 and hit points of 10. It's looking pretty standard these days. Guardian and finesse response. After you play an attack event, remove 1 threat from a scheme. Limit once per phase. Precision response. After you play a thwart event, deal 1 damage to an enemy. Limit once per phase. All right, so you get a little boost. So it looks like you want to be a very event-based set of cards in here. And I think it looked like, well, let's take a look at her other side here. So we've got Gamora's alter ego side. She's got 3 recovery, and it's pretty standard. Hand size 6. We're still at our 10 hit points. All right. So skilled tactician, you may include up to 6 attack and or thwart events in your deck from aspects other than your chosen aspect. That's pretty cool. All right, so look at the top cards of your deck. If that card is an attack or thwart event, draw it. Limit once per round. All right, so the idea of building a bunch of supports and upgrades out there for Gamora, well, maybe you still want to do that because you have a very nice set of events that you want to go with, and you want to thin your deck down to just those, and then you're going to be really drawing them fast and repeatedly. Or you stack your deck with events so that way you can grab extra cards fairly frequently. I don't know, it's going to be interesting there to see how people play her. All right. So I like that. I like that you can go out of your aspect to draw to add 6 other events. So pretty cool. Let's see how this works out. So we're going to set her down here to the side. All right. So first off, we've got Nebula. So we've got 2 thwart, 2 attack, and 2 health, and 2 cost. So lots of 2s there. All right. After Nebula, so response, after Nebula enters play, search your deck for an attack or thwart event add it to your hand, shuffle your deck. All right, getting more stuff into your hand. If not to play, at least you're getting another resource. All right, I would say, well, she's 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 health though. I have a tough time with the 2 health. Well, she gets another card into your hand, so it's kind of like you're paying 1 for her, maybe. I don't know. I have a tough time with 2 health hero or 2 health allies. A lot of those, I guess, if you're playing the leadership thing where you block with them and they go away, but if you want to use them for more than just as damage sponges, the 2 health thing is a tough thing for me. So, but I mean, that's one of the main things for allies is to take that big hit. So, all right, moving on. Next up, we've got a 0 cost event, which is our acrobatic move, which is an attack event. Hero action, deal 2 damage to an enemy, 0 cost. All right, so that doesn't look super impressive, but I guess when you combine that with the fact that Gamora can grab events pretty quickly, it's nice that it's a 0 cost event. All right, and we've got cross counter. So it's a 1 cost event, attack, defense, thwart. Well, that's interesting. You have all 3 of them there. So hero interrupt, attack, defense, thwart. So how the heck does that work? When you would take any amount of damage, prevent 3 of that damage, deal 1 damage to an enemy, remove 1 threat from a scheme. Ooh, that's kind of nice. So any amount of damage. So the damage could be coming from anywhere. It doesn't necessarily have to be from the enemy attacking you. And the damage that you deal doesn't have to be to the enemy that hits you, it looks like. Interesting. And the 1 threat is not from, it's from any scheme out there, so it could be a side scheme also. All right, I like that card. I really like that card. It only costs 1. Now, you're going to have to, that's one of those, it's almost like it's like a protection card, right? You're going to play it on the defense, so that's interesting. I really like that card. I think that's going to be a great card. All right. Unfortunately, there's only 2 in there, right? Yeah, okay. And we have set the pace, which is a 0 cost event. It's a thwart, remove 1 threat from a scheme. All right, you got 2 of those. We have a decisive blow. Deal 4 damage to an enemy, 7 damage instead if you played a thwart event this turn. Wow, okay, so then the set the pace and the decisive blow looks really nice because there's a big combo there. Okay. And it's not bad itself, just 4 damage for 2 isn't too bad. All right, then we have forward momentum. It says remove 3 threat from a scheme, 5 threat if you played an attack event this turn. All right. And I guess you could chain these off of each other, right? You play a 0, and then you play a 2, and then you play a 2, assuming you have the resources to do all of that, and you can set up a pretty big round that way. All right, that looks cool. Looks like you're building chains here. Conditioning room, alter ego action, exhaust conditioning room, return the bottommost attack or thwart event from your discard pile to your hand, heal 1 damage from Gamora. All right, okay. I guess this is going to be one of those cards that I'm going to have to make sure. Sometimes I like to just like riffle through my discard deck and see what's there, and potentially I end up changing the order. So I'm gonna have to be really careful with the conditioning room because it's going to be your bottommost attack or thwart event. So the order is going to need to stay in your discard pile, right? Not something I'm always great about doing. So I'm going to have to remember to do that with conditioning room out there. It's a neat card though. Again, getting more events back into your hand. So then we have Keen Instincts. So it's a skill upgrade. So it's going to stay out there. Only cost of 1. Exhaust Keen Instincts, generate a wild resource for an attack or thwart event. All right, so there's some resources to do those big chains. And you've got 2 of them in there. Like it. We have Gamora's Sword, restricted. After you play an attack event, deal 1 damage to an enemy. Costs 3 to get out there. That's just pretty straight up nice. You got a little ping you get to do in addition to your normal attack. Like it, and it's not a once, it's after, it looks like after every attack is going to happen, every attack event. So that's going to take your ones that cost 0 and tune that up just a little bit. Pretty cool. Good way to ping off tough afterwards too. Attack an enemy, take them out, and then ping the tough off the big bad. Could be nice. All right, so that's Gamora's base cards. We're going to start taking a look at the additional cards now. So we're aggression here. We've got a Angela as Guardian. So we have a forced response. After Angela enters play under your control, search the top 10 cards of the encounter deck for a minion and put it into play engaged with you. Shuffle the encounter deck. If a minion was not put into play this way, discard Angela. Interesting. So 0 cost. She doesn't thwart by default, and 2 attack. So I think the 0 is she can thwart. She just doesn't do any when she actually does thwart. And she's got 3 health. Because there's other cards out there that would potentially, like Star-Lord, some of Star-Lord's cards could give her +1 thwart, so she could potentially thwart. So that's interesting. So then you're going to look at the search the top 10 cards in the encounter deck for a minion, put it into play engaged with you. So let's see here. I guess that means that if you look at the top 10 cards, you get to choose which minion you want to put out there, which is nice. Unless there's only one, of course. And then you get to shuffle them and put them away. Oh, I kind of like that one. I don't know. I'm on the fence about that because it's kind of weird. 0 cost and 0 thwart. So she's just going to be attacking. I don't know. Interesting card. All right, Clobber. So let's see. We have hero action. Deal 3 damage to an enemy. If this is the first card you have played this round, return this card to your hand. So you can recycle that one. Wow. So if you had the sword out, you would do 3. You would do an additional. It would go back to your hand. You could do 3. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that should be the thing on there, but maybe they don't have the rights to do the Fantastic Four stuff yet. All right, that is looking like it could be pretty powerful. I like that card. And that might end up in other aggression decks. All right, plan of attack. 0 cost. So search the top 4 cards of your deck, top 7 cards if you're in alter ego format. Okay, that's interesting. For an attack event and add that card to your hand, shuffle your deck. All right, so if you're in alter ego form, not format, if you're in alter ego form, you can go for up to 7 cards, so you can play that in alter ego, then flip, and then potentially use it. Okay, or I guess you could use it to sift your deck also if you went from hero to alter ego and you wanted to sift and kick out an attack card that you would then potentially discard at the end of your round or hold on to set yourself up for the next round. Interesting. Okay. So you've got 1, 2, 3 plan of attacks. We got an uppercut. Oh, really? So deal 5 damage to an enemy. Well, that's not a bad card, but kind of a little bit disappointing to see in here. All right. First hit. We got a protection event in here. Well, that's interesting. This must be our 6 and 6. It's throwing some other stuff in here. All right. First hit, which is an event, which is hero action, deal 2 damage to a villain. Hero interrupt, when a minion initiates an attack, deal 2 damage to that minion. So I guess you get to use it in either format potentially. That's It's interesting that that's a protection card too, because you could use it to take out a minion before it actually hits you. That's so when a minion initiates an attack, I like that card as a protection card. I think I might end up moving that into other protection decks. That's an interesting card. I like that one. All right. Impede. What do we have here? Hero action. Remove 3 threat from the main scheme. This is the first card you played this round. Return the card to your hand. Okay, so that's like our attack card there, our clobber, but it's on the justice side of the spectrum. All right, and that's going to be really justice-y, I guess. And then we have combat training. All right, make us be more attacky. And then we have a Godslayer. It's a weapon restricted. When your hero makes a basic attack against a unique enemy, exhaust Godslayer and your hero gets +2 for that attack. That's pretty cool. I like the artwork and I like the what do I want to say, the theme behind that I think is pretty cool. I like it. How much play it gets in the end, I don't know. That's a whole different thing, but I do like the concept behind that. We'll have to see how that plays out. All right, so now we're going to get into our basic cards. We've got Drax. All right. So Drax is a basic card. Play only if your character has a guardian trait. Drax cannot attack minions. Oh, that's pretty cool. All right, that's very thematic, right? So 3, he's got 4 health, 1 thwart, 3 attack. Would love it. That's pretty cool. Hit and run. So we've got hero action, cost of 3. It's an event. Hero action, attack thwart, deal 2 damage to an enemy, remove 2 threat from a scheme. I like it. It does both of them. So that also probably plays into her other stuff that she can do, where that's going to fulfill both of those things if as a precursor to allow you to do the bigger side of the other 2 cards. Cool. All right, so hit and run. Yeah, we're going to need double resources in here because there are, and that's interesting because in the Star-Lord we didn't have double resources, but we do in here. And we're going to need them in this deck. There's a lot of times when you want to play a couple of 3-cost cards. All right, so now we're into our obligations and our nemesis. So we've got unfulfilled destiny. So let's see here. You only got 2 on it, 2 boost icons. We have exhaust your alter ego, remove from the game. That's pretty standard. So the other side of it is choose and discard 2 events from your hand. Discard this obligation. Well, that doesn't seem too bad. Like I think that one's all right. All right. And we have sibling rivalry as a side scheme. Players other than Gamora cannot remove threat from sibling rivalry. Ah, that's kind of cool. Force response. After the villain phase begins, deal 1 face down encounter card to Gamora. I like it. All right. And it's got 4 is going to go on it, and it's got 3 boost icons on it. I think that's very thematic. That's pretty cool. Oh, we've got another Nebula. Well, wait, the other one had 2 health and she's got 5 health? That doesn't seem right. All right, so she's got 1 scheme, 2 attack, retaliate 2. Holy cow, ouch. When this minion would enter play, discard the Nebula ally from play. All right. Wow. Retaliate 2 is pretty rough, but she's got 5 health, and Gamora's got a lot of stuff that would potentially allow her to help take that out. So, yeah, I think she's going to be a tough. The other part is she kicks your other ally out of play, which is kind of annoying. But all right, what else we got here? We have in a bind. I almost read that as in a band, which is a little bit different. Is Gamora ever in a band in the comics? I don't know. So anyway, in a bind. So attached to Gamora, treat Gamora printed text box as if it were blank, except for traits. And then choose and discard an attack event from your hand. Deal 1 damage to Gamora. Discard. All right. So it's going to take away your little bonuses that you normally get to remove 1 threat, which we just happen to have right down here, right? So that text goes away. But I guess you would lose the other side stuff too, right? So you can't look at the top card of your deck and grab it. All right. But in order to get rid of it, you're going to have to be hero. Okay. That one doesn't look all that bad. It looks like Gamora can get out of a bind pretty easily. All right, then we have Waylay. When revealed, stun and confuse Gamora. If Gamora's already stunned or confused, this card gains surge. Ah, okay, that one is evil. So not only does it stun and confuse, if you already have one of them, the card gains surge. Ouch. Okay. That's an evil card, and there's two of them in the deck. All right. Now, the other ones I thought weren't all that bad, but that one seems pretty awful to me. All right, so that's the end of our pre-con deck there. That's everything we've got. Now we're into our bonus cards. So what we got there? We've got Pivotal Moment. Hero action. Attack. Deal 2 damage to the villain. 5 damage instead if there is no threat on the main scheme. That's a nice justice card there, because you're probably making that happen fairly often. And it's got Rocket on it, which is like super bonus, right? So there we go. So 3 pivotal moments, and we have Comms Implant. So that's our leadership with a 1-cost upgrade attached to a Guardian ally. So that's going to limit it decently. 1 per ally. Attached ally gets +1 thwart and +1 hit point. Ooh, that's nice. I see these making their way into the Star-Lord leadership deck pretty quickly. That's a very nice card. All right. And then we have True Grit. After a hero defends against an enemy attack, remove threat from the scheme equal to the hero's thwart. Oh, man. All right, see that one making its way over to the Groot protection deck. Wow. Pretty nice. All right, so Gamora's got the cards that are going to other people's decks to make them better. What's our last card in here? Enhanced Reflexes. Okay. I'm not sure what that is going on. I was kind of hoping for a whole new set of cards, and I've been a little bit disappointed with Star-Lord and Gamora both ending with those types of cards, but they're kind of necessary because those decks are at a point where they need the extra resources, I guess. And I guess the thing that we'll go back to is maybe if you did not get into the Avengers stuff and you got into the Guardian stuff, this exposes those cards for you as a person that's playing Guardians characters. So maybe that's the idea, is, or these are some pretty basic cards, and how do we mix them into the set for people that are playing Guardians characters, then they're a part of these heroes. I don't know as somebody that's got everything, there's sometimes when the cards come back up that you're like, I don't know that I really need more copies of these, but if I was somebody that was just playing Guardians, maybe this would be good cards to have, like you just got started recently. So I don't know, a little bit disappointed there, but I can see some reasoning behind that. You could make an argument for why they're there and why it's okay. So, all right, so that's our Gamora deck. What are my thoughts on the Gamora deck? So it looks like there's lots of additional onesie-twosie damage. You've got Gamora potentially doing a little bit of extra damage. She's got some cards in there that allow her, like she gets her sword out there. You got the Godslayer. You got some combat training to make you a little bit better. You've got, I like the Clobber. Clobber looks great. You've got Gamora's sword is going to ping you up a little bit. I like the additional resource generation with the Keen Instincts. I guess one of the things that I'm thinking is there's an interesting combination of these 0-cost events and then these 2-cost events that are in there. So there's a pretty good mix of those, but you really do need some extra resource generation. It looks like that's why she's got the genius and the strength and those in there, because you really do need some extra resource generation going on. And it looks like she might be doing pretty well with that. I do believe my favorite card out of here is going to be Cross Counter. I think that's going to be a great card. If you take a look at that one, you're going to deal 1 damage, and then you're over here on Gamora, right? So after you play, and this is per phase, right? So you're going to be playing this during the villain phase. Probably is when you're going to take a damage during the villain phase. You can prevent it. You're going to deal one. Plus, you're going to get to do some extra boosts here because you are. This is a thwart and attack event, which you are playing during that phase. So she boosts that up, and yeah, that's pretty cool. So you're going to do 2 and 2. So for a cost of 1. So prevent 3, deal 2, remove 2. That looks like a super powerful card. So plus then you got some other stuff that could potentially boost that up too. So I think that's going to be the epic card of the Gamora set. I don't know. What's your opinion? What do you think the best card of the Gamora set is? I do think Clobber's a really good card. I think Thing, we need the Fantastic Four set so we can get some Clobber in time in there and just like cycle those. Thing is going to be an aggression deck, and he's going to have the Clobber card, I bet. It's probably like years away, but I bet that's what's going to end up happening. So different artwork because you have to have the Thing on there doing stuff. But anyway, all right, so that's Gamora deck. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And I think next up we're going to have to do some playing. I haven't played the Guardians of the Galaxy run-through. So normally I take these up against Rhino. And I'm debating that a little bit. Maybe I need to take them through the Guardians of Galaxy set because I haven't played it yet. But my standard thing is to take these up against Rhino and just see how the decks play. So not sure which way I'm going to go, but that will be in the future. For now, let me know what you think about the Gamora deck. What are the best cards? Is Cross Counter the best card in the deck, or do you choose something else? What are the 6 cards that you are going to take from other potential... Well, I guess it's going to depend on what you're going to play. Let's assume you play with her standard deck. What are the 6 other events that you're going to grab from outside of her traditional aggression aspect? I don't think it's going to be the ones that are included in here. I think once you start constructing, you're going for some different stuff. Although the protection one is pretty nice, I think. So anyway, let me know what you think about Gamora in the comments below. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching.